Okay, so today we're heading straight to the heart of the Julian Alps. We've got a stack of sources, and they're all pointing to one place, a destination that honestly looks like it's straight out of a fairy tale. We are zeroing in on Lake Bled in Slovenia. And this isn't just about the pretty pictures. Our mission here is to really get beneath the surface, go beyond the postcard. We want to uncover the core stuff, the geology, the 1,000 years of history, and these really fiercely protected local traditions that make Bled, well, quite unique in Europe.
It really is. It's this ultimate blend of nature and human history all in one place. Just to set the scene, we're talking about the Upper Carniolan region, northwestern Slovenia. It's actually quite accessible, only about, 55 kilometers from Ljubljana, the capital?
Right.
But to really get Bled, you have to understand where it came from. The sources all agree it's a mixed origin lake, glacial and tectonic.
Okay, glacial and tectonic. So not just carved by ice like many alpine lakes.
Yeah, exactly. Most are purely glacial troughs, ice scrapes out of valley. But here, that mix is absolutely key. It defines pretty much everything.
So the geology didn't just dig the hole, it actually shaped the features we see. What does that mix do for the lake itself, the water?
Well, the glacial part gave it the scale, the basin. It carved out this massive area, making it pretty deep, almost 30 meters, 29.5 to be exact. And that depth, plus the really fine rock particles left by the glacier rock flour that contributes to that amazing color, that emerald turquoise water.
Ah, the famous color. It shifts, doesn't it?
It does. The way the light penetrates that deep, clear water with the suspended particles, it creates that vivid, shifting hue you always see in photos.
And critically, this is where the tectonic part comes in handy, right? Because this makes it one of the few alpine lakes where you can actually swim comfortably in the summer.
Precisely. That's the thermal secret. Underneath, there are fault lines, tectonic activity. And on the eastern side of the lake, these lines feed thermal springs into the water.
So warm water bubbling up.
Yeah, keeping those areas consistently above 20 degrees Celsius. And in summer, say July, August, the surface temperature, it can easily hit 25 degrees, which is, pretty unusual for an alpine lake.
And what's really interesting is that people figured this out quite early on. The sources mentioned these thermal secrets didn't stay secret for long. They were commercialized, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They tapped into that pretty quickly. Today, those warm, tectonically heated waters are used directly. 3 big hotels right on the lake, the Grand Hotel Top Lease Hotel Park, and the Rickley Balance Hotel. They all pipe that thermal water into their swimming pools.
Nice.
And historically, the water was known to be so pure, people apparently even drank it.
Yeah.
Definitely added to this idea of Bled having, healing properties.
Okay, so stepping back from the science for a moment, let's look at the culture, the identity. There's this immediate connection to folklore, right? The whole creation of the lake itself is tied up with mountain fairies. I love how the story explains both the lake and the island in one go.
It really anchors the place's sort of mystical vibe. The legend goes, before the lake, this valley was this beautiful green meadow. Shepherds grazed their sheep there. But it was also a special place for mountain fairies. Their dance floor, basically, on this little hill in the middle.
Okay.
So the fairies asked the shepherds a small favor. Could you just fence off our little dancing spot on the hill? Keep the sheep off the grass. Simple request.
But the shepherds, prioritizing their flock, just said no.
They refused, and, that didn't go down well. The fairies weren't happy.
I can imagine. So, consequences.
Dramatic ones.
No.
The sources say the fairies, furious, basically summoned all the springs and streams from the mountains around, just flooded the entire valley. Everything drowned under the water. Everything except that one little hill where they used to dance. And that hill became Bleski Otuk Bled Island.
Which leads us perfectly to the island itself. Because it's not just a geological bump, it's literally the only natural island in all of Slovenia. And it feels like the spiritual heart of the lake.
That's exactly right. And sitting right on that sacred rock is the pilgrimage church of the Assumption of Mary. Now, the church you see today, the Baroque one, that's mostly late 17th century. But the island itself has been a sacred spot for way longer. It was actually built right on top of an earlier pagan sanctuary.
Fascinating layers of history. And getting to that church involves another iconic feature, that huge staircase.
Oh yeah, the Baroque stairway. It's magnificent. 99 stone steps, built way back in 1655.
99 steps.
And that number, 99, is now completely tied into one of Bled's most famous traditions, a wedding tradition.
Yes, I read about this. The groom has to carry the bride.
All the way up. All 99 steps, start to finish. While she's in the full wedding dress. It's this exhausting symbolic trial.
Seriously, hope those grooms do some training beforehand. That sounds like a major test before you even say, I do.
Definitely. And then once they finally get to the top, the tradition continues inside the church with the famous wishing bell.
Right, the bell you ring for good luck.
Yeah, ring it 3 times, the legend says, and your wish will come true. So you've got this combination of like intense physical effort getting up there, and then the sound, the drama of ringing the bell.
It makes visiting the island really memorable for anyone, not just couples getting married.
So how do you actually reach this this magical island? It's not like there's a regular ferry service, is there? You have to rely on another very specific tradition. The Pletna boats?
Ah, the Pletna. Yes, totally unique to Bled. They're these traditional wooden boats, flat-bottomed. They kind of look a bit like a Venetian gondola, maybe, but they're purpose-built for this lake.
And they've been around for ages, right?
Oh, yeah, the history goes way back. We're talking 1590. You can spot them easily with those colorful striped awnings they have.
But the rowing is different from a gondola.
Completely different. The oarsman, they call him a Pletner, he stands up at the back, and he uses this unique standing rowing technique called sterator. 2 long oars, propelling the boat forward while standing, gives them much better leverage and, a good view over the water. Now, this is where the social history gets really interesting, I think. Because being a Pletnar, rowing one of these boats, it's not just any job you can apply for. It's protected, isn't it? Inherited.
It absolutely is. It's one of the most amazing examples of, living tradition preservation you'll find. Back in 1740, the Austrian Empress Maria Theresa.
Ah, her again.
Yes. She granted the exclusive rights to operate these boats to just 22 local families. And those rights were passed down generation after generation, usually through the male line.
Wow. So does that cause friction now with, massive modern tourism demanding access and this really tightly controlled, centuries-old family system?
Well, it's certainly a unique dynamic, but the restriction holds. It's seen as vital for keeping the income local, supporting those families, and crucially, maintaining the authenticity of the whole experience. That exclusivity is why the Pletna is still the only way to get to the island. It's about a 1.5-hour round trip, including time on the island, and you really feel like you're part of something ancient.
Speaking of ancient, let's pivot from the island to the cliff overlooking it. On the north shore, you have the architectural counterpoint, Bled Castle. Bleski Grad just stands there, doesn't it? 130 meters up on this sheer cliff face. It's such a powerful, almost intimidating sight.
And its history is every bit as imposing as its location. It is officially the oldest castle in Slovenia. We have documents tracing it back to 1004.
1004. That's incredible.
That's when the Holy Roman Emperor, who was the German King Henry II at the time, actually conferred the whole estate.
Wait, a German king granted land in Slovenia to bishops of Brixen, was it? Why?
Strategic control. Basically, this whole area was super important for controlling trade routes connecting Germany down to northern Italy.
Yeah.
So the castle was vital for defense. Yeah, they're also for administration, keeping an eye on things. So the bishops built the first part around 1011, just a basic Romanesque tower to start with, mainly for defense.
And then it just grew over the centuries.
Exactly. Expanded massively. Luckily, it had a big restoration effort between 1951 and 1961. That really saved and preserved its complex history.